Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mr. 008 here, and today I have for you a coverage video for the second sneak peek in update 32.0 of Bloons Tower Defense 6. So, last time we covered the contested territory, the engineer paragon, and things like that. And to continue on from the contested territory specifically, there is a sneak peek of how teams will work in the next update. So let's get started. So teams, otherwise known as guilds, are coming to BTD6. Join up with friends or other great players to show your skills in the upcoming contested territory event. Thanks to our awesome community for concerns about forced teams. Please note player-created teams was always the plan and has been in development for months. Okay, so I think that's a little nice to have, especially so that there's moderation, like by active players of inactive players, and so that like people can make sure that they're in active teams before the event gets started. In my previous video, I didn't know how I'd feel about like teams being created by players like on their own, but then again, that was mainly because of balancing concerns. But I would think that Ninja Kiwi has that taken care of and that'll not be an issue once the update comes out. So overall, it sounds nice, and I am looking forward to participating in these events in the game. And for those of you who don't know, Ninja Kiwi doesn't just use the word awesome because they want to say something positive. They also, it's been one of their signature words for many years. I still remember when I was in, elementary school, middle school, and I would play Bloons Tower Defense 4 in a browser, and I remember the Ninja Kiwi logo coming up and saying "more awesomer" right below it. So just a little pun to point out to those of you who had not caught on to that before I pointed it out. So moving on. Mayors form teams of up to 15 players set to private or public joining with team management functions. Okay. The contested territory ticket system, that's what CT stands for, will pool unused daily individual tickets both from open team slots and from team members who could not play that day. That's nice, so that they're not entirely lost. I like that. So moving on, CT pool tickets will be capped per person per day. While allowing for solo play, we don't want solo teams to dominate individual boards. And this change will come back to Bloons Pop for those of you who play that game. I personally do not play Bloons Pop. I did check it out once it was first released, but it's just not the type of game that I like playing all that much. So I didn't play it for that long. Team leaderboards for contested territory will have a larger share of rewards versus individual leaderboards. After all, it's about high-performing teams. That's what Ninja Kiwi is going for in this update. So overall, that's nice, so that if an individual player does not do that well, they'll still benefit from being in, on a good team, as long as they're, a good player and they just didn't do that well, for a short period of time, because even good players do have, bad runs sometimes and make mistakes, especially because there is some RNG in the game. For those of you who don't know, RNG means random number generation in this context, which thankfully there is less RNG in the game than there used to be. With Oben's Wall of Trees, I used to fail Chimp's runs all the time because he would put the trees in the wrong spot. But now you can manually select where you want the trees placed, so that's nice. And there have been a few other changes that have been made since the game first came out to make it more about skill and less about luck, so I like that. More team events and functionality will be added over time in future updates. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, one of the things that I enjoy about certain games is being able to talk to other players and to do different activities that aren't just one and done, like co-op, for example, is just one and done. Speaking of which, I may do a couple of co-op runs in future videos, not with people I know, just join in on some co-op games and see how far I can get in them. Let me know if you guys would be up for that, because I did do one in BTD 5 before BTD 6 rolled out, and I thought that me and my teammate won because the BFB popped at the end of medium mode in BTD 5, but despite the BFB having popped, it still told me game over, even though there were no balloons left on my screen. So I'm guessing that had to do with a synchronization error, my client, if you will, meaning my player account, was not being forwarded the same information as the Ninja Kiwi server was. So I'm thinking of trying that out again, especially because I sort of want revenge on that bad connection, so let me know if you guys want to see that. So let's look at some of the comments before I wrap this video up. It will not be as long as my previous video because there's not as much to cover in this sneak peek, but it's still nice to know how things will work before they come out rather than having to figure things out manually all from the beginning. So let's take a look. So it looks like let's see. Overall, this looks like a positively received update on the part of the players, which is nice. So overall, I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad to see that others are looking forward to it as well. Just a disclaimer, I do not have inside information on this update, and I do not work for Ninja Kiwi, and I am not privileged to behind-the-scenes information, so I don't want people to mistakenly believe that. So just to be clear about that. Let's see, the banners for the guilds look awesome. Would they be bought from the trophy store or one from contested territory? My guess on that is, again, this is speculation, but I'm guessing that it would be bought from the trophy store, or maybe one from contested territory, but historically the banners that I've seen in the game thus far have been bought from the trophy store. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the same thing with these banners for the guilds. As for if guild banners will be bought separately from player banners, or if any player who owns a given banner will be able to apply that to the whole guild, assuming that it's approved of by the leadership in the guild, I'm not sure how that's going to work. But overall, yeah, it will be nice to get some clarification on that in due time. Let's see. Until we don't see a team made up of all the Bloons YouTubers who most people know that play BTD 6, I won't be satisfied. So yeah, there's I don't think we're going to see that, honestly. I think that each individual YouTuber will create their own guild. And after all, given their large fan bases, even the YouTubers who are not that big, like H2K Titan, for example, could fill up a guild of BTD6 players if he wanted to. So overall, I don't think we're going to see anything like relating to too many high level YouTubers all going into the same guild and all that. So yeah, I don't expect to see iSub, Ryan Mihalik, Supreme Avocado, Jaja Josh, and Aliens Rock, for example, all in one guild, for example. I don't expect to see something like that. And not that Aliens Rock plays much anymore, at least, because he did make a video a while ago saying that he feels that the game is a little bit too redundant. So I personally, I like to play the game still, just not in large bursts. I like to play occasionally here and there, a little bit a day or a few times a week at the very least, so that I'm still getting some enjoyment from the game, but not burning my enjoyment for it out. But moving back on topic, let's see what else. Yeah, it will be interesting to see how things work out, making teams with friends. So yeah, that will be interesting to see in the game. I think it'll be fine though, as long as Ninja Kiwi has balancing taken care of on the back end, not putting too many if there's a team where all the players are high level and have all the monkey knowledge unlocked and all that, not putting them in an instance up against another team that has level 30 to 50 players that only have one tree maxed out, or a few points in each tree but none of them are maxed out, something like that. So some people are talking about a soy jack meme. I don't know what that is, but I'll probably look it up after this video, after I record, because I am interested in knowing what that is. Let's see. This feature will probably keep BTD6 interesting for another year at least. I hope so. I definitely hope that the game lasts a long time. And I'm hoping that the series does as well, so that when BTD6 is complete, quote unquote, with everything that the developers ever can think of putting in the game that would not take the game too far in the wrong direction, I'm hoping that once that happens, that we'll see a BTD7 as well. I don't expect that for the next couple years, even though BTD6 has been out for close to 4 years, I think by now, maybe even a little bit over 4 years. But if my memory serves me correctly, it's been a little bit over 4 years, but I'm hoping that Bloons as a whole, no matter what, and Bloons Tower Defense more specifically, keeps on going, and that it stays highly popular and relevant in the gaming community for many years to come. So let's see. Hey NK, can we custom name teams like we can with challenge names? Just wondering. In Bloons Pop, it only allows the randomizer. I don't play Bloons Pop anymore, so I'm not aware of that, but I honestly don't know how I feel about not even allowing people to create their own team or guild names. I think that it would be nice for people to be able to create their own guild names and all that, and if necessary, have an automated filter applied on it, because in case, for those of you who don't know, in the trophy store, there's this there's this thing you can buy that allows you to name one of each monkey type manually. It does not work on heroes. It used to, but that was a bug. So you can name your monkeys manually with that, but if you type certain things in that the filter does not like, it will say, please choose a more appropriate name. So if the same thing could be put in to that, also I noticed that, I forget exactly what it says, but some specific words when they're in challenge titles, change the entire name of the challenge, so that's just like a generic name of some kind, like challenge, or I forget exactly what it is, but Ninja Kiwi has filters built into the game for that, so I'm really hoping that they have a way of combating inappropriate team names so that players can choose their own team names as long as they're appropriate in the game. And I'm hoping that they do something about that in Bloons Pop as well. Again, even though I don't play it, it would still be... I'm always for creativity and customization as far as these things are concerned. So, yeah, as long as there's a way to moderate those things, which would have to be automatic because otherwise it would be too much to handle on the back end. But as long as there's some kind of filter in place to weed out inappropriate names and things like that, it should be fine. And I think that Ninja Kiwi is more than capable of doing that. This game is about to have the coolest comeback I've ever seen. I think Bloons has been, well, BTD6 to be more specific, has been fine over the years in general. And it's nice to see big updates occasionally, whether it be with the introduction of races, odysseys, paragons, boss bloons, all that different stuff. It's very cool to see that stuff like introduced into the game over the years, and new heroes and a new tower would be really nice, because while the mortar and the engineer were not in the game when it first came out, I forget if there was another one. Yeah, that's right, the Dartling. The mortar, engineer, and Dartling were not in the game when it first came out, but then again they were in BTD 5, and unfortunately Ninja Kiwi has stated that they're not bringing the Bloon Chipper back because it would be too difficult to balance. So I feel like there is a way to balance the Bloon Chipper. I don't know what it is, but there is a sweet spot for everything. That's the gist of what I'm trying to say. There is a sweet spot for everything. So I would like to see another tower eventually, because new heroes are nice, new paragons are nice, new boss bloons are nice, but a new tower entirely would be really cool to see down the road, like one that is not purely recycled from a previous Bloons game especially. But I'm all for the reintroduction of the Bloon Chipper as well. Even though Ninja Kiwi said they'd never do it, I'm still going to say that I support it. So yeah, but there may have been a point in BTD6 that I'm just not aware of, that there were like less players, and like there just weren't as many players active as with other points in the game. But I mean, I don't play it as much as I originally did, like when it first came out and all that. Back then I was on the game for like at least 4 hours a day probably, but nowadays it's like I'll check in, collect my daily bonus, and play one game and get off. But I'm really looking forward to this update. I'm hoping that it's going to incentivize a lot of players, not just me, but a lot of players to come back to the game. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, um, somebody also said Clash of Clans in BTD6. It doesn't seem the exact same thing to me. I mean, obviously, like, because the games are different in a sense, like, that can't be, um, like, you can't really, create literal clan wars in BTD6 or literal contested territory in Clash of Clans. But, yeah. So, I'm still looking forward to what I'm seeing, as far as BTD6 is concerned. Um, so, yeah. I'm really hoping that there is a chat feature as well. Um, so I, yeah, I'm hoping that people can interact with their fellow teammates, guildmates, and that it's not just going to be to play together, but there's no chatting. I'm really hoping that there is chatting, and so that there's even more of a bonus from being part of a team or a guild, and it's not just you're there for the events, but that's all there is to it. So would be nice to see that. Um, so long as certain problems are taken care of on the back end. But again, I think that Ninja Kiwi is capable of that. They have been creating Bloons games for a long time, and um, they have rarely ever let their player bases down, and player base rather, but it could be argued that they have multiple player bases because of all the different games that they've created. Obviously, the BTD6 player base and the Tower Keepers player base are not the same, for example, but overall, I'm hoping for a chat feature and that something great comes of this update, aside from just a new game mode, but more interactivity and sociability in the game. So, yeah, that's going to wrap it up for me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more interesting content. I'm not sure if that meme that I talked about before is the Planet of the Crepes thing, the title of that team, or if it's something different that's being referred to, but Planet of the Crepes, obviously a Planet of the Apes reference. Once again, thank you all for watching, and subscribe for more interesting content, and I will talk to you all again in the next video. Peace out.